So this is one thing that you all need to pay careful attention to. Rearrange first. Oops. Okay, and then remember, take out the negative from the x square. You cannot have any coefficient for x square. And then this will become negative 4x. Okay, the highlight is this part. You add half this number square. And you take that away. Right? So this 3 will result in you having this. And then this one, if you carry it down, is a minus 4. But a lot of you forgot that you have a negative outside. So when you expand, you need to expand carefully. So this negative, you expand here. But you also need to expand to the negative 4. So this one becomes plus 4. Then I don't know why some of you perfect answer already. Don't want to simplify, leave your answer like that. You should simplify the 4 minus 3 to be plus 1. So answer is just this. Okay, do you have to rearrange until it looks exactly like this? No need. Actually, this is good enough. It's already in the form they want. But if you want to be a perfectionist, then you put the 1 in front. Then this is how it should look like. But either case, both are already good enough as an answer. So this is the 2 marks. If you can do this first step, knowing that you take out negative 1, you get the method mark. Okay, and then the answer mark is of course getting this. Okay, next one, turning point. The x is 2, so that whatever in the bracket is 0, and then your y is just 1 here. So some of you got your completed square form wrong, but based on the wrong expression, if you can read the turning point correctly, you still get your turning point mark. Error carry forward. Okay, so even if you think your answer here is wrong, press on, continue doing. Like as if it's correct, then continue doing. You will still get method marks. Okay, next one. Showing. I tell you many times already, showing, you must use the very powerful for all real values of x. Okay, for all real values of x, you have this. So this thing is always greater or equals to 0. So first step, you write that. Second, there is a negative there. So when you apply negative, you got to flip the sign. So a lot of you never flip the sign. Then last one, you add 1 on both sides. So this is how you show that f of x is always less than or equals to 1. Okay, please remember to write this. For many of you, I help you write. Okay, so 1 mark is knowing this. Second mark is proving this. So this is the shown part. Okay, it's nothing that you have not learned before, just that you're not familiar with enough. Okay, then this one just tell you to come up with one pair of P and Q values. Any possible you can think of. So for instance, I know this is a maximum curve. And the turning point is 2, 1. So if we just estimate, let's say this is the maximum point. Okay, 2, 1. This is how your curve should look like, right? At the x and y axis. Okay, you don't know how it's going to cut, but something like that. This is how your graph should be. This is your f of x. But now they say, I want another g of x, which you know is going to be a minimum curve. Okay, which you know is going to be a minimum curve. Then they say, can you pick a value, pick a turning point that will not intersect this maximum curve. So actually, as long as your y value is above 1, wow, what is angry? Okay, so you know you have a minimum curve. It can be anywhere as long as it is above the highest point of your maximum point. So you pick any Q value that is greater than 1. So 2, 100, 150, any number you want. And then your X value can be anything. So P can be anything. So some of you gave me Q20, P20. That's fine. Okay, as long as it is greater than 1, the other P value can be any value. Give me a possible value, don't give me a range. Okay, so this one has many possible answers. I will just tick according to what you have. Okay, then you must explain. So you can say since GX it's a minimum curve with lowest value greater than the maximum point of f of x, they will not intersect. So the idea is the highest y value, it is smaller than the lowest y value here. So it will never meet. Okay, so whatever value you choose, it must be greater than 1 so that it lies above it. Okay, some of you chose your Q to be 1, which is fine, but you need to make sure that you can only choose your X value anywhere here so that it doesn't meet. Okay, you just need to be very sure about it. Okay, so first question, actually out of the 7, you should minimally get 5. Like I mentioned, O-level likes to ask this kind of explanation question, need you to think, why, explain. So these are unavoidable. Okay, but the main ABC must get. Okay? Okay, second page. Intersects the x-axis means what? When I say the curve intersects the x-axis, can be exactly 1 point touching the x-axis, or it can be 2 points cutting the x-axis. So when I say intersects the x-axis, means discriminant can be greater than 0, or it can be equals to 0 as well. So with that being said, we are still waiting for some of you to copy. The scary part is question 4. I don't know why so many of you leave blank. Can think better, right? Okay, can I? Okay, this one. What does touches the x-axis mean? Only 1. Yes, so this one means D equals to 0. And they never ask you to show, means you can use this from the start. So given that D is equals to 0, then you go and find B squared. Okay, this one another one. I have 2 of you who memorized discriminant wrongly. You got B squared plus 4AC. It is your quadratic formula. So B squared minus 4A. C is the whole K plus 3. This is your A. This is your B. This is your C. Don't mess up your ABC. So the moment you can plug in, that is your first mark. Never mind, we are unstoppable. Okay, so if you go and simplify, you will end up having this expression. If cannot, we bring the dustbin. Okay, shh. So up to this point, I know some of you after you expand is wrong, right? But I gave the mark here for the discriminant. Next is they say find the values of k. Basically, it's just asking you to solve. Go and do quadratic formula. Some of you work very hard. You did completing the square. Also can. Any method you want here, just solve it. So k is negative b plus minus b square minus 4ac over 2a. So whatever method, completing the square or quadratic formula, you get your second mark. Last mark is finding these two. Who asked you to reject? Why you need to reject anything? There's no context in the story here. They never give you any story to link your variables to. So don't reject any solution. You will keep both. 3SF if they never specify. Okay, so your answer mark is here. So when you see find values of k means you need to solve it. Some of you left it here. I don't know why. Just don't want to give me the final answer. Okay, so two answers here. Make sure you leave both of them. Okay, next one. This one, explain. Explain, show, prove, all means the same thing. Means you are supposed to show to me that this is true. So when we say something lies entirely above the x-axis, means it must be a minimum curve. Means A must be positive, criteria 1. Second is there is no intersection. So discriminant must be less than 0. So you are supposed to prove these two to me. Some of you write like that. Then I'm supposed to do my own explanation, is it? You have to show to me that how you got these two conclusions. So first thing is you go and adopt your A value. A is equals to 3, which is positive. Therefore, it is a minimum curve. Okay, second, find discriminant. B square minus 4AC. And then if you go and calculate, it's negative. So if you know it's negative, okay, it has no real roots. So if you combine these two, since A is greater than 0 and D is less than 0, therefore graph or curve lies entirely above x-axis. Okay, so these are the two things you need to prove to me. Okay, sometimes they will say always positive. It's also the same thing. Okay, so nothing here you have not learned before. You just need to be familiar with what the question wants you to do. So eventually, when you see the question, it's automatic. Okay, last one you will cry that you never do. How could you? 5 marks. Donate to me. Okay? Can Okay, next one. This one, it says I have a cannonball like that. Okay? So you're gonna shoot it and then you'll come down in a parabolic motion. So it says it follows this path. So they ask you, how long will the ball be at a height of 22 meters or above? You don't really need to bring in inequality here because it just means that if this is 22 meters, I want to know for how long it was lying above it. So what they want you to do is go and sub in your h as 22, find the 2 times that it happens, and then take the difference between them so you know the duration that it was lying above 22 meters. So application questions need you to visualize the question. So what you need to do is to sub in h as 22. And then you're really, that's why I say, once we introduce completing the square, you're any opportunity also complete the square. I don't know why, although it is tougher. Okay, I bring everything to this side. Okay, first, and then I end off with this quadratic. So actually the first mark is awarded when you equate to 22. You already get 1 mark. Okay, so some of you never equate to anything. I can't give you marks. Second is called, of course, the solving. So the solving, you can use quadratic formula. You can use completing the square. You can even factorize it if you prefer that. So this one, many possibility. You choose the method you like. But I thought quadratic formula is always the safest because you won't make manipulation error. So negative b plus minus b square minus 4ac. Yes. No, the height above the ground, so no negative 22. If it goes to another side, it's negative 22. But you will still end off with negative 20 on the other side. Then negative 15t square plus 40. So if you choose to shift this over, then this will be negative, this will be positive, this will be negative 20. Yeah, the sign will all be reversed. But you will still get the same answer. Okay, so your A is 15. Then you will end off with T as 2 or T as 2/3. So meaning, this timing here is 2/3 seconds. This timing here is 2 seconds. So the duration that it was more 20 meters or more would be 2 seconds subtract 2/3. So 1 and 1/3 seconds. So this is the third answer mark. This is your answer mark. This is the method mark. Okay, so 3 marks all together. So some of you found the answer but never find the difference. So this is the part where it is above. For how long it stayed above. So the duration. Okay, part B, they want to know whether it is possible for the ball to reach a height of 30 meters. So I equate to 30 and I try to solve it. So if you are sharp enough, you can just use discriminant and prove that you have no real roots. So some of you just did this. B square minus 4ac. And then when you calculate, it ends up as a negative number. So therefore, since d is less than 0, it has no real roots. Therefore, it cannot reach 30 meters. Okay, there's another group of you. From the beginning, you already complete the square. So you don't want to waste their effort, right? So from here, you could also do completing the square. Okay, so completing the square, be very careful. The coefficient of t square must be 1. So if you take out negative 15, you will get 8 over 3t here. Okay, I usually don't touch the constant. I keep it outside. Then you add half this value square. You subtract half this value square. So this 3, you can change it to this. Okay? And then this is a 16 over 9. Okay, but don't forget, you still have a square bracket. that you need to expand in. Okay? So you need to expand both the terms in. Okay, so eventually you will reach a point where you get this as your expression. Okay? So if you go and read the turning point, you know it's 4/3, 28 and 2/3. This is your maximum height, which is less than 30 meters. So for the cannonball, the maximum height is less than 30 meters. It will never be able to reach that height. So that is the conclusion. So you either choose to complete the square or you use discriminant to help you. So this chapter, only 3 things. Number 1, there must be completing the square somewhere. Number 2, you can bring in the bracket square. And then when they ask you to solve, you can use completing the square, you can use quadratic formula. Yes.